am so glad that you are here. I decided to do a series on stop bullying yourself. And Stop Bullying Yourself is my book that I wrote. And I'm going to just go chapter by chapter through this. But today we're just going to start with chapter one. It's going to be just a quick podcast, but just to get the mind going and starting to think about that concept of the inner bully. And this is the book right here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can get the book on happywholeyou.com, or if you'd like, I will read it to you on Audible. Okay, so the first chapter is called The Inner Bully. And you may be thinking, well, what is the inner bully, or what does this mean? So this concept of the inner bully is about that voice inside your head that it pushes you to a certain point, to a certain degree, to do better, achieve more. And this certain drive, it can be really beneficial for a lot of people. It's been beneficial for me. However, it was that time, well, the many times that voice shifts and turns into do better or else. The voice, once I achieved certain, milestones in my life that I should have been celebrating, that voice was saying, well, you're still not good enough. You still have to work harder. You still have to try harder. And so really it's about mitigating that voice. I don't think that voice ever fully goes away, but the more attention we give that voice, the more of a voice we actually give it. So it's like a small child. A child throwing a fit, the more attention you give a child every time they throw a fit, they're going to throw more and more fits to get your attention. So I've worked on the concept of defeating the inner bully inside our mind. And the way we do that is we start to reprogram our thoughts. And we'll get into that even more so in the book. But again, for chapter one, it's all about the inner bully. And I just want to kind of explain to you that concept. So I wonder if you have that voice inside your head that is telling you all sorts of nonsense. And is it getting in your way? And then in the book, I have in chapter one, again, on YouTube, you can probably see this. If you're not on YouTube, okay, you're just going to envision a page in the book, and it is called the Trashcan Activity. And what this is essentially, I drew on this page, there's a bunch of different shapes on this page, and it's called the Trashcan Activity, because what you're going to do is you write in each of those shapes things in your life that you don't want, things in your life that are not giving you energy, things in your life that you know are not good for you, but you continue to do them. People in your life that you know you need to release and let go, understanding that, people come in our lives for short periods of time, for long periods of our time. And, sometimes we find ourselves holding on to relationships that are not serving us anymore. And so on this page, we are pretty much writing everything down that we no longer want in our life. But it's like you're writing like one word down, or a small concept. So for example, in one of my shapes in my trash can, I may write late night eating. I used to like binge on ice cream late at night. The other thing is, I want to let go of is my need to control. So letting go of needing to control every little thing in my life. The other thing is letting go of a negative relationship that every time I left this person, I felt more defeated. I felt bad about myself. I did not feel good. And then letting go of events in my life where I felt shame from. And so writing down just all these little things that you continuously hold on to, you write them on the trash can on this page, and then you take that page, you wad it up, and you throw it in the trash. So this is just a physical, tactile opportunity to let go of things. We can think in our head, oh, I'm going to let this go. But when we connect a physical movement or a little ritual with a strong intention, and we connect an emotion to that strong intention, we're more likely going to allow it to stick into our lives. So this is the trash can activity in the book. This is the concept behind it. So the first chapter is all about explaining that inner bully and what I believe the inner bully is and how the inner bully needs to be let go. And then I go into the trash can activity. And then I do list, and I have to share with you this book. I've been toying with the idea of updating the book. And what I've decided is I'm going to keep the book as is because this is really representative of where I was at in my life. And I wrote this book about 8 years ago. And a lot has changed in the last 8 years of my life. And I decided to start writing my new book. And until that comes out, I just want to go over this book and I may share with you a few changes that I would make in the book or concepts that I've realized maybe I see them from a different perspective. But I think that by keeping the book as is going to be helpful for people that are at the similar stage that I was at when I wrote this book. But this in chapter one, I talk about life rules, and I talked about these on another podcast episode. But these were some concepts that 8 years ago, once I realized this and I started using these and like letting go, these really helped to free me. And I would probably add a few more to them today. But my first life rule was life's not fair, so move forward. So I used to say all the time, like when I felt like a victim, it's like, oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. Why isn't this happening for me? Why does that get to happen for them? And, the whole idea that life is supposed to be fair is a silly concept. Life is just a bunch of experiences, and life is just life. And if we think something's not fair, then usually we have an option to remove ourselves from that situation, from that person. But again, we give away our control and we say, oh, life's not fair as if we're a victim to the circumstances in life. But, you know, yeah, life's not fair, so move forward. The second concept I wrote in here is happiness is a choice. This is something I learned when I was very unhappy, and I started to realize that I get to choose if I want to let something upset me. I get to choose if I want to wake up and say I'm going to have a great day, or if I wake up and say, oh, I don't want to go to work today. Oh, life sucks. Oh, gosh, another long day. Oh, is it Friday yet? And so I really think that we need to remind ourselves that our happiness is up to us and we get to choose happiness if we want to. And it's a lot easier to choose happiness when we let go of the idea that life's not fair and when we're taking good care of ourselves. Number three was start saving and find joy in what you do. Oh my gosh. So literally how you spend your money, if you were to track how you spend your money, I guarantee you it has a direct reflect on your health and your happiness. And to not save and prepare for the future is absolutely silly. And also, we will earn way more when we do what we love. And when we do what we love and we live as an authentic person, I have found that money, it does take care of itself. Now, if you would have told me this stuff, 8 years ago or even a little bit before that, um, I've been like, okay, I can try to get my head around that, but like the things I love to do, I'm not getting paid for them, and I have this full-time job that's paying my bills. Like, how do you convert from living your passion and serving your community and doing the things that you are passionate about and you love and getting paid and living a good lifestyle, um, versus having a job that you're good at, that you could do a good job there and you go and you're not very unhappy there, you're kind of happy there, but it's not super fulfilling. Like, how do you convert that? And I'm going to be talking about that more in my new book because I literally 2 years ago, I left an 18-year career that, check all the boxes, paid me my six figures, gave me life insurance or health insurance, had a retirement, like all the things that, we're told that we need to be secure. And when I walked away from that career 2 years ago, after 18 years, I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, how am I going to replace the 6 figures? Like it was unnerving. And I just remember I was like, I'm gonna trust in the process. I'm just gonna be my authentic self. I'm gonna continue to do the things that I'm passionate about, that I love, and everything's gonna take care of itself. And I just was trusting, trusting. It's been 2 years and I have made over $1 million, which is insane to think. And it's not insane at the same time. But coming from the background that I come from, I mean, I always knew that I would become a millionaire and able to make enough money to be able to live the life that I desire and be able to help the people that I want to help. And my programming and that voice inside my head was like, yeah, you can get there, you could do that, but it's going to be so hard. So I've always viewed that it's going to be so hard until 2 years ago, I started to tell myself, like, it was no longer hard. It was just following my passion, following my dream. And I was doing the things that felt in flow and that felt good. So we must find the things that bring us joy and do the things that are our gifts in an authentic way. And the world, the universe, God, Jesus, whatever you believe in, the Almighty does take care of you. But again, it has to be authentic and you have to be following your passions. Okay, what other life rule do I have? I have number 4, you are surrounded by what you want and you are what you surround yourself with. Now, this concept I learned about just over 8 years ago was so good when I heard about you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That is so true. And whatever you surround yourself with, the people you surround yourself with, the activities you choose to do, the places you choose to go are all going to make up your life and the average of your life. So if you're going to, I mean, I'll use like, if you're watching bad movies all the time, you're watching the news, you're going to, late night parties and drinking all night, you're doing these things, your life is going to represent that vibrational frequency of those things that are not nurturing to your soul, that are not good for your body nor your brain. And so we have to pay attention to the people we bring in our life, the things we're buying, and the activities we're choosing to do. Number 5 was your limitations are set by you. Oh my gosh, I still find myself like, I'm like, think bigger. Like, you get to think bigger. You get to think without limitation. So it's like, what would you choose to do if there were no challenges in your life? What would you choose to do if things were not hard? What would you choose to do if you could have all the finances in the world? How would you show up and who would you choose to help? What would you choose to do? So starting to think in that capacity frees up so much space to live in the world of possibility. And this opens up creativity, and you're going to come up and think of things that you never thought of before. And what's cool is once we can visualize something in our mind and we can like see it, it's only a matter of time until it physically starts coming into play. But we have to be able to visualize it. We have to be able to see it. Like I talk to people all the time about they want to lose weight. And one thing I ask them, do you believe you can lose the weight? So they say, yeah. I say, okay. Can you visualize what you will look like, the things you will be doing, and the emotions that you will feel when you're at X amount of weight that you said you want to be at? And it's interesting because a lot of people say, oh God, I can't. It's so hard. I don't know what I would look like. I tell them you have to be able to picture that. You have to be able to visualize that. You have to be able to see yourself at that desired weight, what you'll be doing, the movements you'll be making, the people you'll be meeting, the foods you're eating, the energy level that you have. All of these things matter. So that visualization is so powerful. All right, number 6, family is important, even if they drive you crazy. So true. We can't control our family. We were born into what we were born into. So we need to quit using our family as a crutch, as an excuse. And we need to move forward. And it's okay to, just like, releasing people, like we were talking about in the beginning, it's like if it's not serving you, if it doesn't, if you don't walk away from that conversation and things don't feel good, and that's a continuous thing in that relationship, it may not be a relationship you get to choose to pursue, even if you are family. It's okay to let go. Number seven, sleep is extremely important to your overall health success, and you could never make it up. The reason I put this down is because I literally would sleep 4 to 5 hours, and I would get up, I would go run, and I was literally burning the candle at both ends. And I kept telling myself, oh, yeah, I'm one of those people, I can live on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Absolutely not. I'm getting more sleep now than I've ever had in my life. I work out less now than I've ever worked out in my life, and I am healthier now than I've ever been in my life. So, um, sleep can afford you so much health and clarity and mindset. So, definitely work on your sleep sanctuary. Have a nice bed, invest in good sheets and a good mattress, and have a dark room, no electronics in the room, no TV in the room. Put your phone on silent or and also airplane mode. Sleep is so important. And then eating, number eight is eating healthfully to restore the body's energy and minimize illness. Every single thing we put in our body is information that tells our cells what to do. And so if we're constantly eating poor foods and foods that do not have antioxidants and nutrients and the building blocks for a good foundation of health, that is going to impact us. We can't exercise our way out of a bad diet. We cannot hack our way out of a bad diet. And that's coming from me. And I have a whole wellness center where we have all these biohacking tools and things we could do. We have to put good nutrients in our body. It's so important. Number nine, I put live holistically. And when I spell holistically, I spell it with a W, like the wholeness. And living holistically is mind, body, spirit, your occupational wellness, your financial wellness. Like we can't do any of these in a silo. Just because somebody has a lot of money doesn't mean that they don't have problems. Just because somebody can run 10 miles a day and eat healthy and their body looks good doesn't mean that their mindset is right and their finances are in order. Like we have to have energy in all of these areas every single day in our life. It's about the wholeness that is going to help us be, ultimately happy and well. And then number 10 is stop that inner bully. So we need to silence that voice inside our minds that tell us we're not good enough, that things aren't available to us, that we can't have certain things, that compare us to other people. And as we go through this series, I am going to teach you how to do just that, work on reprogramming that mind so you can live a life that is full of health, wealth, happiness, and success. And that begins with you, your choices, and how you're thinking and speaking about your life. And we are going to work on rewiring that through this series. And yeah, you guys, thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you on the next episode.